I think in the United States there's a real nostalgia for Yiddish and nostalgia for a Yiddish world that has disappeared and that's another world. The old life, the old European life. And there's a desire to evoke some imagined past out of, this is associated with the interest in Chagall and all that, to think of the shtetl as some magical place that's intricately related to Yiddish culture. The people that I work with in Eastern Europe, Yiddish is still a part of their life, and Yiddish for them is still an integral part of their communal identity. But I don't think it evokes quite the same level of nostalgia for this imagined, fairy place land. Part of it was that one couldn't go back. Unlike Irish immigrants, say, who came to America, or Italian immigrants who came to America at the same time that Jewish immigrants did, they could go back to Italy and they could go back to Ireland. They could see how the cultures developed, and it developed. The American Italian culture developed in tandem with Italian culture, whereas for the Jews coming from Yiddish-speaking Europe, they were cut off from the rest of Yiddish-speaking Europe. So they developed quite differently, and then came together again with the fall of communism, the fall of the Soviet Union. And now there's a lot of interesting interactions going on between Jews from the former Soviet Union and Jews in America and Jews in Israel, and emigres from the former Soviet Union who are living in America and Israel. And that cultural interaction is really bringing about a whole new explosion of activity. Again, my own collaboration with Dov Ber, he was born in Moscow, and so that comes out of that. So, even in Israel right now, Yiddish is making a revival. That there's new interest going on in Yiddish at Hebrew University and at Tel Aviv University, and now there's that wasn't there previously. I think Hebrew has become comfortable enough that it's going to be the language of Israel, that they can allow some space for Yiddish, and there's nostalgia in Israel for it. And then Canada also has a very different relationship with Yiddish, because Yiddish culture in Canada has sustained itself much more than the United States, where there are people like me who went to a school where we learned Yiddish in Canada, and there were consistently Yiddish-speaking communities in Montreal, and I think a lot of the academics working in Yiddish right now in America are from Montreal and from that community as well. So definitely there's different relationships to Yiddish in different countries.